Scanning for audio.
Hello and welcome to another Tin Dog podcast. We're going to be discussing Torchwood Among Us 3. Huge fan of Torchwood, as you know. It's one of the things that's just kept me going through what I can only describe as not a great time on Doctor Who on TV. Torchwood, you know I loved Series 1, really loved Series 2, and I didn't like anything that came after that. It's kind of, that's where we're at. And that's where I left it. But Torchwood, once it arrived at Big Finish, was a different creature. Something glorious. And when the monthly range vanished, I started really getting into the monthly Torchwoods. We're at 77 now, big fan. But this Among Us is the current new running Torchwood group. The sort of group that is so good and so tightly curated that if they were to appear in the spin-off and they were exactly the same as they are here, they would be brilliant. Just brilliant. Colchester, Yvonne, and it would be superb. And you know what? Because stuff like Ahsoka exists, because, let's face it, what they've done is they've taken some spin-off media and just gone, yeah, it's mainstream now, thanks very much. If you want to experience the spin-off media, the animation, off you go, watch that, come back. That's the level of Torchwood we've got going on here. So what we've got here is 4 stories which finish Series 7. We've got How I Conquered the World, Doomscroll, Heistland, and The Apocalypse Starts at 6 p.m. All absolutely glorious stories. How I Conquered the World. Now, this is the end of the apparent end of the Among Us box sets, mini-series, let's call it that. How I Conquered the World by Tim Foley, Ash Darby and James Goss. All of the authors have been brought together to produce what I can only describe as one of the best soundscape audio narratives I've ever experienced. And that's where Torchwood's doing really well at the moment. Here's some background. Hello, friend. You've probably still got an account on Friend. Can you remember what you posted on it? Are you still using the same password? Did you ever say goodbye? Imagine an entire episode that is nothing but an info dump. The sort of thing where you would have on Doctor Who some sort of newscaster coming on and going, aliens have landed in New York. And you'd go, okay. But imagine that as an entire episode, an entire backstory covering the entire history of Torchwood, but also it covering the entire history of, well, the villain of the piece, which is now a sentient and ignored, lonely social media platform. Imagine MySpace with teeth. It's remembered all of your photographs, all of your stories, all of your videos. It's got them all there. It's the death of Twitter. It's, well, whatever social media platform you care to use at the moment, all in its death throes, and it's gone sentient, and it's out to get you. It's out for revenge, but it also wants you to be happy on its terms. It's brilliant. You've got the storyline of that, you've got the fact that it wants to leave the internet, you've got lots of other things going on in this whole box set, but it is so well done that when you're experiencing this, you realise it needed 3 or 4 authors giving it their all to produce glorious moments. There are some incredibly quotable lines in this very first story. You might think, oh yeah, I'm just getting a load of info dump, but it never feels like that. It's not until afterwards that you go, oh yeah, that's what I experienced. It wasn't some incredible narrative and performance art piece, which, let's face it, it is. This whole thing has been award-winning as far as I'm concerned. It's gloriously structured, incredibly well thought out and beautifully acted. And it is basically a villain monologuing about their plans. But it works. It works better than anything you've ever experienced from a villain, and that's why it took so many authors, and it feels so cohesively written. And it makes you rethink your relationship with social media very quickly. Doomscroll by Ash Darby is a lot more your traditional, and I'm using the rabbit ears here, story. Something is killing influencers, and Torchwood have to save them. Mr. Colchester discovers a whole new world he doesn't like one bit. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's face it, I'm doing this on YouTube as well as everything else, and I'd really appreciate it if you did indeed like and subscribe. Does that make me part of the problem? I think so. I'm hardly an influencer. I haven't even got 1,000 followers. And basically, this is a conversation between me and you, which is fine. Because let's face it, we're talking about Torchwood. Not a problem really, is it? Doomscroll is, like I said, more of a traditional Torchwood story, but that's not a real problem. It presents us with new characters, new relationships from a few of the recurring characters, and it's nice. It gives us a lot of what we've come to expect from Torchwood, which is you've got relationships, you've got new characters, and their days are numbered. You instantly make connections with people, which is a testimony to brilliant writing. And then, because it's Torchwood, you're still surprised when they get killed off. You still got hope that they might make it out of the stories alive. But it's Torchwood. You know they're probably not going to survive. And you still fall for it. Heistland. That is... Well, do you remember when Yvonne Hartman was in jail and she had to escape? It's kind of the exact opposite of that. It's Yvonne Hartman trying to get into... Here's the synopsis. Deadcoin, superb name. Deadcoin is an exclusive cryptocurrency used by the world's government to do dark deals. The unknown weapon is for sale. Sorry, the ultimate weapon is for sale. And Yvonne Hartman decides the only thing to do is to take Deadcoin down. It's kind of a heist movie where things don't really exist in the real world. I mean, it's not Tron or anything like that. But it's very, very clever. And Yvonne always tries to be the cleverest, or at least the most powerful person in the room. It's nice. But it leads beautifully to one of the greatest Torchwood stories of all time, which is The Apocalypse Starts at 6 p.m. If Russell T Davies doesn't take this concept and put it into an episode of Doctor Who on TV, I will be so surprised. Janet's late tea time is the TV equivalent of a cup of soup and a lap full of kittens. So when Torchwood announces the world will end tomorrow night's show, well, what else is Janet going to do? Janet Ellis has been hired to play the part of Janet. Janet is very clever. Janet Ellis is very clever. She's the mother of a very good pop star and who we've loved for years. She's fun. She's from Jigsaw, home of Nosy Bonk. Yes, the most terrifying creature from my childhood. More terrifying than anything Doctor Who ever brought about. I'll just let that one go. Nope, can't let Nosy Bonk go. Anyway, Jigsaw was a great show. Jigsaw also had Sylvester McCoy and the Omen on it, which has got David Rappaport. Oh my God, I'm just going down a whole rabbit hole of memories. And then she became a Blue Peter presenter, which was great because they had to present without any auto cue. She is basically playing a Lorraine Kelly kind of person. Somebody who is fluffy and lovely and has Giles Brandreth around the corner. It's like Alan Partridge tonight. You get the kind of tea time cosy TV thing. It's a very British phenomenon. On Welsh TV, I think it's called Hello. Anyway, what we've got is something great. And because that's the framework that the Apocalypse is connected to and presented with and has Friend appearing on it, it just is so gorgeously Torchwood. Because the Doctor would save the world by getting us to be better than ourselves. Torchwood doesn't work like that. I don't want to give any more spoilers. What I do want to say is this is a superb ending to a very, very good set of stories. And I heartily recommend them. Here's the trailer and decide for yourself as always. So until next time, be seeing you.
And tomorrow we'll be seeing how Margaret from Lowestoft is getting on with her margarine statue of Gemma Collins. Don't miss us on Janet's Late Tea.
This is Torchwood. The world is ending tomorrow, and you all know why.
From Big Finish Productions, Torchwood Among Us 3. You are Torchwood. I know what you have done. I know who you have loved. I know who you have lost. Is there anything more?
We're ordinary people living ordinary lives.
Few hashtags are dying. Whatever it is you call yourselves, something's killing you.
Do you think the world is ending tonight?
On my show? Not when we book Giles Brandreth.
You're being manipulated, and Torchwood are the only people who can save the world.
Finished.
Yeah, I rather think we are, don't you?
Take aim. Fire.
Love me, bullets!
Why are you so interested in Deadcoin?
The militaries of the world are bidding on an ultimate weapon. This is a bad thing.
I'm a tank, you're a moped. My name's Yvonne Hartman and no one is stopping me.
But they'll catch up with us.
Maybe, but we're Torchwood and we keep going until they do.
Big Finish. For the love of stories.
Come for the apocalypse, stay for the reasonable Christmas gifting tips.
That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Everything discussed is the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended. For early access to reviews, follow the show on YouTube or Twitter @Tin Dog Podcast. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.